Hello, Sagittarius. Thank you so much, you guys, for being here, and my apologies for being so late. As a lot of you guys know, I have not been feeling the greatest, and please forgive my voice. But thank you so much, you guys, for being here. All right, Saggy. We're all mad here. Everyone is a little different, and then you have To the Sea. And I love that card. I think it's beautiful. But we're all mad here. For some of you, this is going to be about needing to understand that everybody is a little bit crazy, including yourself, right? But it may feel like everybody has lost their fucking minds. That's usually what I feel like when this card shows up. Like, everybody is crazy. Everybody has just lost it. What the hell is going on? And when you look at that with Go to the Sea or To the Sea, it's saying that you need to be in the flow of everything that is going on, recognizing how everything fits together. That's what this one is about. Just go with it. Just go with it. Now, you may be coming across somebody who is very, very unique. And it may be one of those things where you're looking at them going, wow, you need some help. But maybe they don't, okay? And maybe you just need to appreciate what makes them different, and you need to go with the flow on this. For others of you, it's just situations that feel like everything is just crazy. Everybody's mad. Everybody's gone nuts. All right, Saggy, here we go. Here's your overall, the Two of Swords. Okay. So with the Two of Swords being your overall here, we could be talking about you ignoring a situation, not wanting to make a difficult choice right now. Some of you are going to be forced to have to look at something that's been going on, and now you're going to have to make a choice. For some of you, though, you could feel like something is out of your hands, like you don't have a choice. Usually with the Two of Swords, though, the reason why we do this is because we're needing to protect ourselves, right? So we choose to ignore the difficult things that we have to do, especially if it means like cutting something out or cutting someone out. Now, the other part of this, though, is, so for me, when I look at the Two of Swords in reverse, a lot of times, and it depends on intuitively what you're seeing, especially with other cards around it, right? But normally for me, it would suggest that if you don't, the choice will be made for you, and you may not be happy with the choice that is made. That's why we look at this as a stalemate, But we'll see here, because I think that a lot of you are going to be forced to make a difficult choice here that you may not have wanted to. You just wanted to ignore it or hold it off as much as possible. Now, in the past, the Four of Cups. So in the past here, we're talking about emotional apathy and boredom. Being dissatisfied, not, getting the offer that you want, or whatever is coming through to you just doesn't seem like it's good enough. But, with boredom, then yeah, a choice may have to be made. We can't keep ignoring what is not, bringing us any kind of fulfillment. Now, the other part of that, though, is emotionally, you may have been very numb to a situation in the past, but you're just letting it continue. But I don't like the Four of Cups, because I hate that feeling of, yeah, whatever. It's just whatever. In the present, the High Priestess. Okay, so where you have not been happy about some things, and you may have been emotionally like lethargic here. The High Priestess in the present moment, this is, possibly some hidden information coming to light. But I look at this one, and I've been saying this consistently, observation, because this is passive. It's observing things, right? And allowing the intuition to kind of guide you based on what you're seeing. I also feel like reading in between the lines with her, but trusting your intuition, absolutely. But it makes me wonder, what is it that you're getting like insight on, But either way here, it's now we have to take off the blindfold and see what's going on with that Two of Swords being there. But this may be something that you weren't aware of, though, that is like coming up. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. Future conditions, the Two of Wands. Okay, so straight up, right, like I'm looking at this and I see you not being very happy, kind of like being emotionally numb to everything that's going on. The High Priestess comes along in the present moment. There's some information that's coming up, and then you have the Two of Wands here where, yeah, there is a choice that's going to have to be made. All choices, the twos, right? The High Priestess, technically, with tarot, is the realm of possibilities. It's where ideas have time to grow right? And anything can happen. Anything can manifest out of that, right? It's where all of, the hidden potential lies. But that comes along with making a choice. But definitely with the Two of Wands here, there is a course of action that you're going to have to look at based on information that is coming through, where you may have been ignoring it or not allowing yourself emotionally to kind of like see what's going on. But I still want to see what's going on in your environment here. But there's still the passion, though, to want to act, but it's like it's not that easy to make that choice. So for some of you, straight up, it's now I see, now I understand, now I can take a different course, but you may feel like you don't really have a choice, that you may be tied into something else right now, because I keep looking at the hands being tied, intertwined with something right now, where it's not that easy to just break. But a course of action is going to have to be looked at here in future conditions. Your best path to follow, the Queen of Swords. Okay. Sag, this to me is saying that whether, no matter what the situation is about, whether it has to do with a person, your love life, your career, whatever is going on here, there is a need for you to be a little bit of an ass kicker here. I look at the Queen of Swords and I think of, being a little bit cold and harsh, right? Needing to hand somebody the truth, for sure. But if you're intertwined with something that has not been making you feel good, then maybe there is a need to emotionally detach yourself, especially if you've become a little bit like hateful or bitter about what has been going on or what is keeping you trapped, right? But I look at this as no more playing games. No more playing games. It's time for you to, be smart, right? Queen of Swords, highly intelligent. Be concise. Make sure that, you're using your intellect when it comes to a choice. But the thing is if you have something that's clinging onto you, though, it may be that you need to be really harsh in order to detach. And that may be the hard choice, right? Like, I really didn't want to have to be this way, but maybe I need to. In your environment, the Six of Cups, so information about the past, about a past situation, the reason why, you may not have been getting what you felt like, you should have, or what should have been more. But this is hidden information. I think about a past connection for some of you, a past situation. But you've been so emotionally numb to it that I don't think that you wanted to see it. But because you're being forced to see it now with the High Priestess, it leads you to a choice and a course of action that has to be taken. But I'm looking at it this way, and I'm looking at it with the connection to your past. And it's like, this is something that you haven't quite walked away from yet. It's hard to disconnect. But I don't like the emotional apathy. It's like, I don't feel good about it, but I don't want to make that kind of a choice to get rid of it. Your hopes and your fears, the Magician. I look at that and I think that for some of you are hoping that you have the ability to create what you want out of this without having to make the difficult choice. For some of you, it's fearing that you don't have what's necessary in order to, make something happen. Now, for others of you, it's manipulation, right? Like, and I hate saying that about the Magician, but with the Four of Cups and the Two of Swords, and then the Queen of Swords, come on. Fearing that somebody has been manipulating a situation, which is why we're looking at the High Priestess and you realizing, what really was going on in the past secrets that are being revealed, but emotionally you may not have been aware of it because you were just dealing with a situation that just didn't feel so good, but you didn't see all of what was going on. And I hate saying that. It sounds so rough, and for you, and then I go back to the Oracle cards, and yeah, I laugh a little bit with we're all mad here, but you're going to have to go with the flow on this in order to understand why this situation is happening and where all the pieces are fitting together and where it's leading you, because there's still, a path that you can take here with the Two of Wands, but you have to act on it. But there may be, such an attachment that it's not that easy to be brutal when necessary with the Queen of Swords, right? But yeah, the Magician being there feels a little bit rough because, especially for those of you who feel like I can create something different out of this. Maybe that's not the case, Maybe you really need to consider that course of action with the Two of Wands. Do you really want to do that? That really depends on the information that's coming out about the past. And then coming out the Hermit. So now, and that may be the problem with the Two of Swords, right? Because the thing is this is where I don't think you want it to be. Now, the Hermit's a beautiful card. I love the Hermit in terms of, gaining enlightenment and understanding of the process that you've just been through, and again, right, the pieces fitting together. And the Hermit, this is you understanding and realizing, and then not only that, but looking at the whole process in a whole, and like, what have you learned? How is that going to make things different when you do take another path, right? But for some of you, this is like, I need to separate. I need to, separate from the situation, move on. I need to do things on my own. For you, it's just, for some of you, it's just, I need to really consider things here with the Hermit, and I don't want to say isolation because I don't think that that's it. This is a choice that's made, right? The choice to separate yourself from someone, a situation. But to cut it out once and for all is not that easy to do. But you may just need some time, some time on your own to consider the best course of action, right? Ooh. Oh, okay. And the thing is Sagittarius, if you're experiencing the Ten of Swords with the Hermit, I still don't feel isolation. I feel like this is where the difficult choice and the course of action comes in. And this may be a really painful thing, but you can't hold yourself back anymore with the Eight of Swords, right? Because you're allowing yourself to be stuck with the realization of some things that were hidden from the past here with the Six of Cups. The Ace of Pentacles, let's talk about that first. And with the Four of Cups here, there was an opportunity to start something. A new beginning for you where there's the continued growth. For some of you, it could be about, a new job. It could be about, building a relationship here. It just depends on what the situation is. But we're talking about what is realistic, what is practical, what is going to give you continued growth. And I don't feel like it's a wasted opportunity. I think that with the Hermit, you're really considering the fact that maybe this is something that you need to start for yourself right now, even if it means ending a relationship, ending a job, taking a new career path. With the Eight of Swords and the High Priestess, and with the Two of Swords, you have been blind to something that has been kept from you that you are observing now about something that, you've tried to move on from, or about a past situation that is coming back up. The Eight of Swords is like your thoughts are preventing you from like really seeing the truth of the situation. It's almost like you have the High Priestess moment, but the mind immediately goes to no, 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 no. That's not right, right? Blocking yourself in with those thoughts. But the thing is like I said, when you come into the Hermit, it's like you realize that you need a moment for the deeper soul searching, right? And then you move into the Ten of Swords where something is definitely going to be coming to an end in a very difficult way. I don't think that you wanted it to be that way, but I go back to you needing to be the Queen of Swords and needing to cut something or someone out once and for all, especially if things have been kept hidden from you. And if this has to do with someone, why they were emotionally removed from you, where you may have thought that things were beginning again, right? And it bothers me a little bit. But the thing is the Two of Wands with the Hermit coming out, I still feel like the Ace of Coins is an opportunity for you to, start building something, again, realistic and sustainable for you. But the thing is you have to release yourself from what is going on in the present moment, what you may be finding out about the past, right? But there's a passion to want to start again and to want to look at, what you can create, how you are creating your world this time, right? But something is going to come to an end in a really difficult way. But I don't know that, you know, it's not something that you wanted to do. It doesn't diminish the pain of the ending with the Ten of Swords, but, you know, I don't see you being stuck with the pain. I just see you, you know, needing to make the difficult choice to do that. And expansion. Nice. So honor yourself. I mean, that's self-explanatory, right? Like, you need to honor your own personal integrity here, right? It reminds me of treat yourself better, but it's not that you've been treating yourself poorly. It's just that you haven't been honoring yourself, I think, with the situation. But once you start to do that, there's going to be new energy that's going to allow for expansion of yourself and your self-awareness. You know, so you may be expanding in a different direction. But I do like that new energy is going to be coming to you once you start to honor yourself, right? That's like the universe is responding. Like, okay, and then you have get to know each other. Learning to meet another's need for love is important for a relationship to grow. Okay, now this is interesting in terms of relationships because the Ten of Swords kind of has a finality to it. But it could be that, you know, things are coming to an end for sure, but is there a chance for renewal? Maybe. But I don't know that, you know, your thoughts would allow you to see how that's even possible. Again, depending on the information that's coming out. But being supportive to, you know, someone and getting to know someone, for some of you, could be being supportive to yourself and getting to know other people, expansion, possibly, you know. For some of you, there was something that you weren't aware of that may change some things here, where tough love may be required, looking at the Queen of Swords. You know, it just depends on your situation here. But I look at be supportive, and I think that you need to be supportive to yourself and your own needs, first and foremost, before you're open to, you know, getting to know maybe somebody new, or getting to know or understanding another person and why they may have done the things that they have done, which is possible. But, you know, Sag, the biggest thing here is, and again, it's general, right? Like, it's not going to be for everybody, but the biggest thing for me is I'm looking at to the sea. You have to, you know, just kind of go with the flow on this. Don't fight. Don't restrain yourself. Don't restrict yourself. Definitely do what's necessary or what you believe to be the right thing for you to do. But you will understand. You will understand why this situation happened. You know, you will get to that place where all of it fits. And there may be some different support coming through where you're going to get a chance to know somebody a little bit better. You know, but again, honoring yourself here is going to be really important. But I do feel a finality with that Ten of Swords. But you can't deny the Ace of Pentacles. Even if it is a part of the past, it's still coming up in the future. It just may be a very different beginning for you than maybe what you had currently been envisioning